Alright, ladies and gentlemen, back again for Resplendent Ishtar. So what does this mean? Guess we'll find out.
Let the lesson begin.
Hey guys, Akariss here, bringing you another Fire Emblem Heroes video. Today's video is, well, you already know. We're talking about Ishtar here. Now, I have talked about Ishtar before, more originally when her weapon Refine came out, which honestly escapes my mind right now, but it was a fair amount of time ago. And to be honest, when it comes to like refines from Ishtar, like Ishtar's refine, it's actually decent. If we're gonna like take a look at it later in the video where I talk about her stats, you'll see exactly what I mean. So in terms of relevancy, I feel like most people didn't fully take advantage of Ishtar, and I'll try to do some justice by providing you guys who do end up getting Ishtar here, or potentially those of you that just have her sitting around in the barracks, some better use. That's the intention of today's video. Now, before we begin about Ishtar stuff, I want to take about a minute or so just to talk about other upcoming videos and topics that I feel maybe coming to the channel. And if you like this idea, then feel free to just tell me in the comments below, like, yes, you want to see that, or anything else of this nature. So a lot of people have asked me about Ashe and her mythic and, like, you know, where she stands compared to other mythics and such. I'm going to be actually making a bigger video that involves Ashe and, of course, how I feel about her. So that's in the works right now. Be patient, my friends. Thank you. And second, I plan to actually release a few more commentated videos on both AR offense and Summoner Duels as well, actually. So if you guys liked my previous Summoner Duels video, thoughts, tips, and tricks and whatnot, I'm going to actually try to commentate my own gameplay in there, and hopefully that can help you guys get better at the mode if you so enjoy it, or you know, obviously if the mode does get expanded upon, which I feel IS definitely will do considering it's a Coliseum mode. So both those things are coming up soon, and I just want to give you guys some foresight before we jump into Ishtar and her stuff. And stuff it is. Alright guys, so routine as always, smash the like button, sub if you haven't already. Let's jump into this. First up, we'll talk about Ishtar's art, just my quick thoughts, what it comes from, and yeah. So, as you guys can see in the sprite on the bottom left, that is Ishtar's new sprite. I think it's pretty nice. I guess not really much to say there. It kind of feels like a white wedding dress kind of feel, but hey, whatever. As for the origins, it seems like it's Jotunheimer based, so cool, I guess. Yeah, reminds me of like Note, I guess. Like that's what it's supposed to feel like. For some reason, the leggings also kind of remind me of Embla. Like that was my first impression until obviously it was clarified to be Jotunheimer. So if you know why, just like tell me in the comments. I honestly don't. Maybe I'm just mixing things up. Don't know. Anyways, this is the same artist who did Legendary Sigurd apparently, and Uller, and apparently Resplendent Eldigan. So the art style is quite definitive and in my opinion pretty nice. I do like it. And Ishtar is a majestic wizard tome caster type of character, and I honestly appreciate any of the tome like caster magic type characters. So seeing it on art like this get this much effort is always nice. So yeah, now into the more important topics, of course, which is Ishtar's stat spread and weapon in case you've forgotten it. Of course, including the new Resplendent stats. Keep in mind that anything I talk about here is, of course, like applicable even if you don't have the Resplendent stats. Maybe consider this a review video, if nothing else. So, because of Resplendent stats, and actually because Ishtar is more of a like a book 2 release, I think, she actually has a bit more stats over the original like tome users. For example, male Robin I think was like 147, whereas Ishtar's 151 base stats. This means that Ishtar does have a little bit of extra stats over someone like male Robin. That also means when you apply 20 flowers and Resplendent stats, she jumps up to about 181 like base stat total just from flowers and Resplendent, which actually makes her quite good, as we'll see in a later build. So those stats definitely catch up. That's why someone like Resplendent Noe, who just was given out today, is a legit contender for very good like F2P, if not one of the best dragon tanks. Go check out that video if you want to know what I'm talking about. But stats do add up through Resplendent and flowers and make these older units honestly pretty relevant. So Yeah, let's talk about weapon here. Stat spread is obviously offensive oriented, which is appreciated, 36-38. And the weapon refine itself is a slaying tome, which is very rare because you can't inherit any type of slaying. You also get an initiation clause or solo, which gives 6 speed. Again, just bringing her more in line, I guess, with the speed stat that you would expect from her. And her refine effect is again same condition, either initiation or solo. 5 attack, 5 speed on top of that. So it's effectively getting 11 speed, 5 attack, and the thing that makes her quite good and still relevant in my opinion, which is the self null follow-up effect. This means that her double will not get denied by users who run some sort of worry fighter or double denial, such as Fallen Edelgard or Brave Hector. And that does matter as well when you factor in Wind Sweep, which is what we'll talk about right now with the builds, of course. So some suggested builds I'd have for you guys is going to be stuff like this. So honestly, if you're going to use Ishtar, her place is for sure AR defense or offense. There is definitely some like build flexibility you can go for here, guys, so make sure you just use what you have. And in my opinion, Times Pulse is really good to just get pre-charged specials of 2, either Glimmer, Moonbow, or Ruptured Sky. Use what you have. Times Pulse definitely sets that up, but if you don't, then really good fodder in the C scale is going to be something like Savage Blow, Fatal Smoke, or Panic Smoke, and that disruption will really help, considering I feel like Wind Sweep should be on every variant of her build, and that's because the self-null follow-up effect of Mjolnir here means that she's going to not get denied when the Wind Sweep goes off. So Wind Sweep denies your own double, but if you have a weapon like this, which is found on quite a few, you still get your double, and therefore Wind Sweep is really powerful. There is still counterplay, obviously, such as Ascended Fjorm not really caring about this, and you just null see like tanks in general, maybe someone like Brave Ike, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. But she's still going to do really well against a lot of other stuff, including Brave Hector and Fallen Edelgard, for example. So not charging your special could work out if you were to use something like Flashing Blade with Ruptured Sky instead of Blade Session, or instead of Times Pulse, like not pulsing it, then using Fatal Smoke, which will deny healing on Fallen Edelgard. So there's definitely different build variants that are going to work here. Just kind of depends what you need her to do. She does synergize really well in defense, in my opinion, with like Legendary Azura if she's 7 slot to become effectively a Blue Tome Cav, like our good Fed Reinhardt, and 3 movement on Legendary Azura applying that, as well as Legendary Sigurd, I guess, if it's win season. And finally, Pathfinder through Note. Those are all nice synergies that I would suggest on Dark Season, whereas on Anima, she's likely best off in some sort of Bridal Catria save team. Those are my ideal placements for where I feel she could be best used. Finally, for more budget ways of using her, definitely AR offense with, again, just Wind Sweep, fodder off like Lithis or Josh, and there you go. Just throw Wind Sweep and ideally break through some sort of save balls or Bridal Catrias with some sort of hidden run, especially combined with Bridal Fjorm or Mila, depending on season. Hit at them, run back, because Wind Sweep on many different units can be used this effect, but Ishtar does it pretty well considering the amount of speed. Maybe her special acceleration with something like Infantry Pulse can be done, and she can be used pretty effectively this way as well. So yeah, definitely something like this can work. If you have any other ideas, feel free to share them, of course, in the comments below. But effectively, the last thing we'll talk about here is her usage in Arena, which is, again, worth talking about. So if you manage to give her max investment and throw her into Arena, by the way, that should not be Moonbow, that should be Ruptured Sky, so oops. But yeah, Ruptured Sky is the ideal thing to use there, so it's pre-charge and scores max. If you do end up doing it, she does actually get quite a lot of stats, a lot of attack, somewhere pretty high up there with Blade Session, bringing her to about 70, 80 before any buffs, pretty close to it depending on Blessing as well. So this is all really useful because with Wind Sweep, you're going to be hitting through tons of units that otherwise would one-shot her back. And if there is anything that's more like anti-meta in Arena than something like Ishtar, there's only quite a few. So honestly, Ishtar pretty good, Resplendent pretty good, stats pretty good, and if you have her, you should consider using her in some way. that's going to be it for me, guys. Short and sweet. Hopefully you learned something from this video. As always, let me know in the comments below what you think of Ishtar, how you use her in the future, and for my upcoming videos and your thoughts on that as well. Thank you guys for always tuning in and watching. If you want to see more of me, gameplay as well, consider the Twitch, description below. If you love the content I do and you want to support it, Patreon's the best way to do that. And finally, smash the like button and sub. I will see you guys in the next one. As always, much love. Peace.
It's over.